Hello, my name is Xlily Oz, or Lillian, and welcome to my Golden Ending Speedrun Guide. This guide will assume you already know how to speedrun the All Stages category of the game. If you don't, I have linked a tutorial in the description of this video. Additionally, this guide will contain major spoilers for Katana Zero. With that out of the way, let's get into the guide. Golden Ending is an alternative category to the much more popular All Stages, where All Stages task the player with completing Factory through Bunker 2 and ending time when using the retinal scanner. Golden Ending instead tasks the player with completing Factory through Chinatown and ending time when Zero dies during the confrontation with the masked men and the police squad. Although these settings ultimately do not matter much for the speedrun, as proper mashing and quick option selects make these settings unnecessary, it is still advised to have response time set to ×1 and text speed to ×2 in your game settings. Response time influences how long you have to make dialogue choices. It does not affect how long you have to make interruption choices, however. ×1 shortens the response time and ×2 extends the time. Text speed is fairly self-explanatory. It speeds up the text. 1 times is slower and 2 times is faster. As you can see here, ×1 response time, ×2 text speed. Unlike All Stages, language choice does matter here. Although no one language is considerably faster when mashing dialogue, 4 languages have freezes during dialogue, which costs a lot of time. These languages are Korean, Japanese, Simplified and Traditional Chinese, and French. The Asian languages all freeze in Casino, while Spinny Ricky spins the roulette, and French freezes during the V interrogation. Any other language is perfectly fine to run with. For your settings in speedrun mode, you'll want to have the same settings as All Stages. However, you want to turn off Action Only, as this is what enables you to have access to the dialogue necessary to meet your final death in Chinatown. As you can see here, Action Only turned off. After navigating Factory Entry, you'll find yourself in a short hallway instead of Factory 1. This is the first dialogue sequence. Zero will receive a phone call after automatically running halfway through the hallway, so be ready to mash to pick up the phone call. For this dialogue sequence, you'll want to let the psychiatrist finish what he is saying. If you try to hang up, he will call over and over and over again until you finish this dialogue. You'll want to select the second option down, I'm almost there, and then mash to select the 2 interruption choices after as soon as possible. Both will read, get on with it. After 2 more text boxes to mash, Zero will hang up and automatically run to the right. As seen here. You have to pick up, wait for it to say hang up, I'm almost there, and then you mash. Get on with it, get on with it. Mash 2 more dialogue boxes, and then Zero will run to the right. Factory 2 will play a short cutscene of a Terry turning on the lasers and another Terry being vaporized. During this cutscene, the lasers will move while Zero can't. As a result, the lasers will have a different pattern when you can move as opposed to All Stages. If you just roll through, you have a chance of dying due to the different pattern. It may be easier to quickly reset the room in this case. This will allow you to roll through the same way as All Stages. You can see this pattern is different. You see those lasers moving? Now we can control Zero. So if we reset, you can just roll through, as you would in All Stages. In Factory 4, when interacting with the scientist, you will have dialogue to mash through. Choose the interruption choice, we need to go, now. You will have 2 more dialogue boxes to mash through before the scientist will fall over and die. The camera will pan to V, and you'll have another 2 dialogue boxes to mash through before you can play the rest of the room as you would usually. We need to go now. Mash the dialogue. If you haven't moved far enough, you'll have to do an additional roll here. And then more dialogue to mash. Just like that. Instead of going straight to Hotel 1, there is a hotel entry screen to complete first. Hold right as soon as you exit Factory to prepare for Zero needing to walk to the right. Dialogue will automatically begin with the receptionist once you are close enough. You'll need to select every interruption choice, so just mash here. The choices will read, stare blankly, could I please go, stop talking to me, shut up, shut up. There will then be an additional dialogue box to mash. As you mash this dialogue box, you should begin holding right again, because you can begin walking to the right after this dialogue. As you can see here. So you can just hold to the right. Dialogue will begin, just mash. Then here, hold to the right, and Zero will automatically start walking to the right again. Just like that. After completing Hotel Target and taking the elevator, there will be another screen, Hotel Exit. You will have 2 dialogue boxes to mash before you'll have to kill 2 shotgun enemies. After killing them, simply roll to the left to finish Hotel. As you can see here. So dialogue here to mash, then here, and then you've got 2 shotgun enemies to kill. Just like that. Easy. Club is played almost exactly the same as all stages. However, after Club 5, instead of going straight to Club Exit, there is an additional screen and cutscene in between, Club Target. You'll get a phone call. You'll immediately hang this up by selecting the interruption option, and roll to the door and interact to enter. Here you will meet DJ Electrohead. Once again, the interruption choice of kill him. Select the interruption choice of kill him. You will then get an unmashable dialogue before Zero finally kills him and exits. From here, Club Exit is completed as normal. You can see here. You get this phone call, mash, hang up, go to the door, and then just mash for kill him. And you can't mash this dialogue, see? And then from here, Club Exit is played as normal, see? Upon entering prison, Zero will get yet another phone call. Once again, choose to hang up right away and complete the first half of prison without the enemies as usual. You get phone call, hang up. After entering Farwan's cell at the end of Prison 4, you will enter an additional screen. Mash the interact button on entry to initiate 3 dialogue boxes to mash through, then exit the room. The rest of Prison is played as usual. Let's see here. You'll enter this room, mash interact, then you've got this dialogue to mash. Just that. And they just roll out to the left, like that. Just like in Hotel, there is a studio entry screen before Studio 1. Also like in Hotel, you want to hold to the right so Zero doesn't just stand still. You'll have 3 dialogue boxes to mash through before this though. After walking far enough to the right, more dialogue will automatically trigger. Mash through 2 more boxes before mashing your attack button to get through the following gun pause as quickly as possible. After the gun pause, there is 1 more dialogue box to mash before V knocks you down. After that, mash interact to enter Studio 1. Show that off now. You got these dialog boxes, so you just hold to the right as you're mashing them, and Zero will automatically walk on. Some more dialog boxes to mash here. And then for this gun pause, mash attack. More dialogue. And then here, once he knocks you down, mash interact. That'll get you in as quickly as possible. In the studio lobby room with the elevator, you'll have 1 more box to mash before V runs away, and you can play studio normally until you complete the V fight. So I'll show you that. So V's just there, mash this dialogue, he'll run off. And then you can play as normal. After defeating V, an additional cutscene will play before Snow dashes into the room. This will lead to a conversation between V and Snow. Mash Snow's initial text box and she will dash toward you. Continue mashing to pick the dialogue interruption choice, Battle Stance. You will then need to mash through 7 more dialogue boxes. On the 7th dialogue box, the screen will go black. After mashing this dialogue, you will need to exit the room to the left. Keep in mind, you can move while the screen is still black, so holding left and roll to buffer it is best. Like so. Also, there's this dialogue that is always present in all stages anyway, to mash. there's the cutscene. So there's no way that you can speed this one up. See, there's Snow's dialogue box, dashes towards you, mash. And you'll see here, screen goes to black. Just like that. You can leave that while the screen is still on black. Mansion can be played normally until after Mansion 6 and replay skip. You will be greeted with the longest dialogue section of the run, V's interrogation. There are 3 cycles to this dialogue sequence. So for the sake of this video and making it easy, I'll read out the script for the first cycle, then I'll do the first cycle, read out the script for the second cycle, do the second cycle, and so on. So for the first cycle, you'll want to just mash the entire time. Choose the top 2 options of Open Eyes and then My Head. Mash through the 2 following dialogue boxes and interrupt V by saying fuck you. This will prompt V to kill 0 after 3 dialogue boxes and begin the second cycle. So we can show that off. So let's see if I can get this. I can't. Okay, so Open Eyes, My Head, mash, mash, fuck you. Sweet. And now this is phase 2. The second cycle begins the same as the first. However, you'll notice that the fuck you dialogue choice is crossed out. Do not select it and wait for V to finish what he is saying. Then choose the top option, I want answers V. Mash through 2 dialogue boxes and let V finish what he is saying before selecting the top option of let me go. If you interrupt V, you will have to complete this cycle again. This will prompt V to kill 0 after a dialogue box yet again. So let's show that off. So we've got Open Eyes, My Head, just the same as last time. So mash this, mash that. Do not say fuck you. I want answers V. Do not interrupt. Do not say let me go. Now say let me go. There we go. So now we're on to the third and final cycle. Third cycle begins the same as the first 2. Once again, do not interrupt V by saying fuck you. Wait for him to finish and select the top option, don't be late for your date V. From there, you can just mash and pick every interruption choice. There are 23 dialogue boxes and 4 interruption choices in total to mash through. The interruption choices are, your tape was kin shit, you honestly thought you were in my league, it's sad watching you grovel for my approval, and I'm tied up and you still want my approval. After all the dialogue, Kissy Face will say, hey guys, check this out, and the boss fight will begin. So let's show that off. So Open Eyes, My Head. Don't say fuck you. Don't be late for your date. Now we just mash from here. So there's a bunch of dialogue to get through. So it's all just mashing. You can't mash that one, by the way. You can't mash that dialogue. Your tape was kid shit, honestly thought you were in my league, mash more, sad watching you grovel for my approval, mash some more, I'm tied up and you still want my approval, and then we go. That's all the interruption dialogue sequences, so we just keep mashing these boxes from here. A lot of mashing. So here, hey guys, check this out. So you're gonna mash this one, obviously, but when you do, this boss fight starts abruptly. So keep that in mind, okay? Don't get caught off guard. And then you'll just fight Kissy Face as usual. After the Kissy Face boss fight, there are another 16 dialogue boxes to mash through before the motorway bike chase can begin. After the highway, actually, I'll read this after. I'll show that off. I'll start reading that after highway, I think. So it's just a lot of fucking mashing here. Or just fucking keep mashing, really. There's not much else you can do. And then the bike chase will begin and you play that as usual. Okay. After the highway section and the helicopter boss fight, there is more dialogue to mash. Select the interruption option of It's Over V. Mash through V's dialogue and once again select the interruption choice End it V. Following this, there will be 5 more dialogue boxes to mash before the level will end. So I'll show that off now. So it's over V, mash, end it V, and then just mash. And that's Mansion. Just like Hotel and Studio before it, Chinatown has an entry screen, and you must hold right as the stage begins. Unlike Hotel and Studio though, the dialogue with Spinny Ricky does not automatically begin. You have to interact with him to begin the dialogue, so just mash your interact button. You can't interrupt him, so select all the top dialogue options. Thanks, what's the game, all in. This begins the gambling part of the dialogue, so I'll get up to that now actually. So hold right. Spam interact. Say thanks. What's the game? All in. Sweet. You'll need to choose black, red, and red again in that order. Black is the bottom option and both reds are the top option. Sweet, so I'll show that off now. So you want to go down, black. Then you can just mash. You just keep mashing. You don't have any more dialogue to select because better everything again. Red, see? Bet everything again. Red. That's how you do it. And then, after successfully gambling, you'll have one dialogue box to mash. Hold right as you do so to move to the Terry as quickly as possible. Interrupt him with show chips and mash his dialogue to continue to the next room. So let's show that off. So here's that dialogue. Hold to the right as you mash it. Spam interact. Show chips. Mash. And then we go into the next room automatically. In the next room, we see Headhunter and 15 talking. There are 9 total dialogue boxes to mash. When Headhunter says, "Whoever you are, you just made a huge mistake," the mini-boss fight will start abruptly, so be ready. Roll toward her twice and slash her to defeat her. If you miss the slash, she will jump off the wall and land behind you, so you can slash her then. So I'll show off both of those now. So mash. So here. Whoever you are, you just made a huge mistake. So as soon as you mash this, the boss fight basically instantly starts. So you have to be prepared. So that's how you do it. So you just, hold on. Just slash twice towards her. If you reset the room, obviously she'll have the gun out and it'll automatically begin charging. So you just roll twice towards her just like that. If you miss the slash, she'll jump off the wall like that. See that? And she'll just keep fucking doing that. So after the first slash, you just get her like that, right? So that's how you do it. So let me show that first time, actually. Ah, I'm fucking stupid. I hit her. Just like that. There you go, there you go. Just like that, okay? Leave the room to the left and prepare to mash your replay eject button, because there's a replay here that saves a lot of time if you get the skip. So I'm not going to mash that. I'll show that off after. If you miss the skip, Headhunter will have 2 boxes of dialogue. You'll have to pick up the tapes on the table and mash through 1 more dialogue box and kill the police officers that run in and leave the room through the left for real this time. The rest of Chinatown can be played normally until after the last room, China 8. So let's show that off. So I'm not going to get the replay eject. So you've got 2 dialogue boxes to mash. Pick up the police tapes. Then the police will run in. 1 more dialogue box, quickly roll towards them, slash them, and then you can leave. Just like that. So now I'll show off replay eject and what that looks like. Just like that. That's the replay skip. So that will completely skip having the headhunter dialogue. That will completely skip having to pick up the tapes, and that will completely skip having to kill the police officers. So that saves at 10 seconds or more. Maybe even like 13 seconds. That's a very important skip to get. So make sure you're spamming your replay eject buttons. And then the rest of Chinatown can be played as usual until the last room. So I will quickly get there now. Okay, sweet. After China 8, you'll be in an additional room, China Exit. There are 4 dialogue boxes to mash here, but be careful, as soon after the 4th box, an interruption choice appears which you don't want to select. So, we'll get there now. So, you also want to roll forward here. There you go. There's your dialogue boxes. Okay, we'll fade to this. Mash that as well. After this dialogue box, an interruption choice will appear almost immediately. This one. See that? You don't want to select that. After the masked man finishes his dialogue, select the bottom option, back off or I'll kill you. Wait for the masked man to finish once more and select the bottom option, time to die. This prompts Zero to slash at the masked man and for the police to open fire, causing Zero to meet his final death and ending the run. So don't interrupt. You don't interrupt, back off or I'll kill you. Then don't interrupt again, time to die. And that's the end of the run. So there you go. So congratulations, you now know how to run golden endings. So go on and PB, maybe even record your run and submit it to speedrun.com. We'd love to have you join our community. I've left some links in the description for the speedrun.com page and an invite link to the official speedrunning server for you to join in if you haven't already.